How's it going, guys? Dylan from If Cars Could Talk, and I hope everybody's doing at least, well, a little bit well today. Obviously, we are in the midst of a pandemic right now in the form of the coronavirus. That's why many of us are wearing these weird ninja masks. Masks that, strangely enough, we can't even buy online anymore because they've become so rare. But the main reason being, obviously, is we're trying not to get contaminated. In fact, all of you have been probably quarantining and social distancing, and it's probably made you lose your bloody mind. In fact, well, my heart goes out to all of you, and I hope you're doing well with your families and everything like that. Because, well, this is a time when we kind of all need to stay together. It's a time where I've really stopped filming. In fact, I didn't even want to film this video. I canceled it a week ago because I thought it was in bad taste to talk about, well, all the cars that we've acquired when people are having trouble getting their next paycheck right now. So I really want to give a thank you to, well, all the people making grocery stores function, trash trucks function, all of the things that are keeping our society moving. It's a very important thing, and in no way do I want to make some vain, annoying, show-offy video. However, I love cars, and this is what I do. So I wanted to show you guys, well, a little bit of what we've done. And to be honest, it's been a bit crazy recently because we've gotten rid of some things and gotten some even more. In fact, today I'm going to talk to you about all of our cars, what we do with them, why we have them, and maybe some special attributes of what makes them special. Guys, stay tuned and stay inside while you watch me go through our entire car collection. I think there might be something worse than the coronavirus right now. It's called a car addiction.
Fast-breaking developments in the coronavirus emergency in the U.S. and around the world. The number of cases soaring just today. More than 24,000 now nationwide. New Jersey today becoming the 6th state to close all non-essential businesses, joining California, New York, Illinois.
Garage quarantine tour begin, and might I add, I can't even be out here right now because since about a few days ago we've actually had a mandatory indoor quarantine. So we're just going to be here for a few seconds, but that's just to show you how intense things are actually getting. Now, another intense thing is my pugs might get a little angry because I stole their dog bowl and I filled it with our keys. Now to start, let's go with my brother's old car, but still for some reason is here, BMW M4. This is a car that's going back in a couple months. Now, you guys probably saw the other video where we got the new Vantage and has replaced this, but it's got a couple months left on the lease. It got complicated with all the stuff, and yeah, it's here. Anyway, he's taken off some of the carbon fiber stuff already. You can see some of it here. But this is a car that was modified, so to speak, hypothetically speaking, externally and internally, because we actually were able to hypothetically pull 500 horsepower to this because we hypothetically tuned it and hypothetically did intakes and all those things. Now, this is in a white exterior, black interior, nothing wild, but come on side and look at the spec, because something I really like that's cool is it had all the carbon fiber components inside. Some of the new cars, like we saw the M5, is a bit of because it was fake carbon fiber, but this is a cool car because it's real, and it's just been a car that's been able to be daily driven. We put a bunch of miles on it. It's usable. It's not offensive when you drive it, but at the same time, it's got a spice to it. All right, so next car on our tour is not really a car, it's more a golf cart. The Smart for 2 in black, murdered out, because, well, it's about the only way you can spec this thing and not look like, well, you're a girl driving it. Because let's be honest, I'm a bit massive, this is a bit small, it's always gonna look funny. but when you're driving this car, people just have a smile on your face. I feel like when you're driving it, it looks like you've just figured everything out because you can fit everywhere. It does crazy U-turns. And I like the spec with the red roof. It's got a little bit of spice to it. Now, a lot of people think these things are tiny on the inside, but there's actually a ton of room, mainly because the entire car is just a cockpit. There is no rear, no front, and in fact, it's an electric car. So this is my first electric car. Shh, I know, it's an eternal sin for any car guy. And it actually has Tesla batteries in it, apparently. It's been a fantastic car. Only issue is the range is a bit crap, and I personally use this car as my daily driver. You guys will see, these are not all of my family's cars. Some of them are my brother's and mine, but they're jam-packed in here at this moment. So anyway, this is a beloved car of mine. But now let's move on to the one that, well, isn't daily driven. All right, so next one on the list is my other personal car, my 2006 Aston Martin Vantage in meteorite gray or silver. I don't know, they have weird words for everything. Black interior. This is the classic James Bond spec, and it kind of makes you feel like James Bond when you're driving it. I mean, all Aston Martins do, and that's the special thing that kind of drew me to it. But what I ended up finding out, other than it being completely impractical, is that it's very visceral. This is a stick shift car. It is naturally aspirated, rear wheel drive, hydraulic steering. This is, well, a last of its kind of. So it's incredibly enjoyable, and funny enough, as annoying as it can be with maintenance and things like that, I think I've loved it more and more over the years. Just because it's, well, just classically beautiful. I mean, you can see there isn't an offensive line on this car. And just because I think it's worth checking out the engine on this thing. This is before a time where we had ugly plastic covers on everything. And it's just a really pretty engine to look at. You can see it's front mid, and that helps with a lot of the weight distribution because it's quite a good handling car. I know what you're thinking. Well, we're not very creative. We have two Vantages next to each other, but they are very different, and other reason is because my brother doesn't have original bone in his body, but let's not get with the brotherly rivalry right now. This is a very different car. Obviously, you have the AMG inputs with it, whether it be the interior, little bit of interior buttons and things like that that harken back to the AMG GT, but it's an incredibly nice interior with the contrast stitching, and well, it's all handmade, the leather. In fact, there's, well, the guy's name on the engine just like mine. And what I really like about this spec, specifically in the black, is it just has this evilness about it. Come look at the front. If you can see it, yeah, we don't have much bloody room. You go that way, I'll go this way. It's completely different. We got much more slender lights. Obviously, this is where design is going. We don't have these chunky giant lights that we saw on the Ferrari 360, we saw on, obviously, my car. Things are becoming much thinner now, and this grille is so aggressive. Now we've left maybe a prettier car and gone to maybe a more aggressive car, but these are now being designed to, well, be popular in other markets like China. They want things that are a little more flashy, and unfortunately Aston Martin has to go in that direction if they're going to survive. Alright, so the next car on our list is another car that we recently got with the Vantage, and this is obviously a 2020 Rolls-Royce Dawn, a car that needs no introduction. It is like the dawn of the car market. It's just badass. You would think the mafioso would drive these cars. Let me look for the bloody keys. Oh, here they are. One thing I gotta show you is the blue is pretty, but the orange is crazy. We have orange pinstripes, we have done orange on the wheels, but now, allow me to show you, well, the roof. Sorry, not the roof, what's under the roof. When the ceiling is missing, as the rappers would say. Please work. Please work. Take two. Let's see if this works. Right, turns out it wasn't Rolls-Royce's fault. It was our fault. You have to do the trunk partition thing so that like things don't get crushed and die or something like that when you're opening the roof. Anyway, let's try one more time. Look at this. Look at the orange. Literally a giant tangerine in here. And if you didn't think a Rolls-Royce was flashy enough, or if a convertible Rolls-Royce was flashy enough, this is a convertible Rolls-Royce with tangerine interior, and it makes a statement, obviously. Now, this is not exactly the type of thing you want to go to a funeral in, but it is something that creates an event every time you drive it. And you think Rolls Royces, well, they're overpriced. Why do they have these crazy price tags? As much technology as you see put into supercars to make them fast, they put equally the same amount of technology to make these things comfortable, whether it has radar guided cruise control or a satellite that tells it where the next bump is so the suspension knows the bump's there and it prepares and makes it so. Alright, our next car is a bit of a mouthful. It is a 1988 Porsche 944 Turbo S Silver Rose Edition. So they made 1,000 Turbo S's. It had a bunch of race components, including Koni adjustable springs, a bigger turbo, hardened steel gearbox, the brakes from a 917. How the hell do I remember all these things? And basically it made it a hell of a lot faster. It looks like a 944, but it's a lot faster, a lot more special. So 1,000 of those, then 381 of these. The Silver Rose Edition, which has this crazy plaid interior. Love it or hate it. It's gonna feel like sitting on your grandmother's couch. It's bloody itchy. But like everything in the 1980s, it's awesome because of this. Show them in the front. Pop-up headlights! Now I realize you guys are probably thinking, what an idiot. Like, why do these guys have so many cars? Again, some of them are mommies and daddies, but nonetheless, these two big ones here, actually, why do we have so many big cars? That also doesn't help. These two big ones here are probably about 12,000 pounds worth of cars. Pounds, like fat. And basically, this is a Bentley GTC. Does basically 200 miles an hour, which is pretty damn impressive, considering, well, it's almost 6,000 pounds, it's giant, it's a convertible, it's luxurious, it's got air conditioning, lots of cows had to die for the interior. But the cool thing is it has this red interior and this cool key thing that looks cool on camera. But basically, it's red claret with black exterior. A lot of the wood as well makes it really pretty. And this is a car that my mom uses. Now the Porsche is something that we just kind of drive when we want to be in the 80s. The Rolls is, I don't know, we just drive that too, I guess. But this is primarily my mom's car. She loves it, enjoys it, and we put miles on all of our cars. None of them are garage queens. They're all designed to be driven because in the end, you can't bring them when you die. And it's an incredibly impressive car. When this car came out, it actually had the largest production brakes ever fitted on a car. And it's still pretty cool to this day. All right, so the next one is the Phantom. I think this is probably one of the greatest cars ever made. Design is perfect. I mean, you gotta think it's really difficult to design something this long. When you have a coupe, 2 doors, less to screw with. I mean, look at these giant slabs for doors. It's actually a pretty car. And it's 20 feet long and 6,000 pounds, and believe it or not, a 12-cylinder. This car is all about numbers. In fact, so is that. We have 2 12-cylinders in here. That one's a W12 twin turbocharged engine, which helps to propel to 200 miles an hour. Forgot to add. This one, I don't know if it propels it to anything but silence, because there's actually 4 silencers on the car. There's a steel bottom here so the sound doesn't get out. 2-pane windows as well. When you wash this car, or these cars, the Bentley and the 2 Rolls Royces, you get a sense of how insulated they are, because you actually don't find water in the inner wells here. Sorry about the limited room, but this is a car we drive our little nieces in the back. Again, like your grandmother's couch. The Porsche had the itchiness of your grandmother's couch. This has the shape of it, and it's supposed to be the first Rolls Royce that really wasn't meant to be chauffeured in. It was a car that you drive, and we do drive it, and there's cool little features like the umbrellas on it as well. If you're buying one of these secondhand, which you probably want to after seeing this, make sure the umbrella's in there, because they're like $3 grand. And this is also a special edition. So you probably noticed it's very purple, and there's red all over. Now these red badges actually harken back to pre-1930s or 20s, don't kill me if I'm wrong, Rolls Royces. Basically the original client said red was offensive or something like that, then they switched it to black. This celebrates 100 years of Rolls Royce. There's 35 of them in the world, and basically those red little areas help to tell you that. Even the Spirit of Ecstasy is made of sterling silver. First time they ever did it on a Rolls Royce. It's the first time they also ever did colored center caps on a Rolls Royce. Again, very limited room here, sorry, but look at these monster truck tires. They don't even produce these anymore. It's just a crazy car. I'm losing breath because there's so much to say. It's, I think, one of the greatest cars ever made. Again, you have this total isolation when you're inside. You feel so lucky to be in it. You feel treated to be in it. And it is so comfortable, but it's old school, simple, comfortable. It's not your stupid iPads at the back and all these things. We use all these parameters to define luxury nowadays, but it isn't that. It's how it feels when you're driving it. It's the technology that goes into the suspension, the silence of the car. That is what makes it a luxury car. Alright guys, so that is it. The If Cars Could Talk garage quarantine video. And I hope this video gave you guys a better understanding of, first of all, what cars we have, because to be honest, it's kind of hard to keep track. In addition to that, well, why we have them, what we use them for, and what makes them so special and great in the first place. Now guys, I just want to also tell all of you to be safe. Please do quarantine yourself so we can all get through this as quickly as possible. And again, thank you to everybody who's keeping our society running. In addition to this, guys, if you want to see what type of equipment I use, please check the Amazon links below. And if you want to follow me on more things, I'm of course on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Guys, if you liked the video, give it a damn like. And if you want to see more of me, please do subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and get the hell out. You guys have seen my whips, my rides, MTV, go!